What if I told you New York City is about to disappear under snow? An absolutely insane winter storm is developing right now that's about to dump a crazy amount of snowfall over the next 48 hours, with widespread 1 to 2 feet of snow impacting huge cities like New York City, Washington, D.C., and Boston. There could even be some places that pick up almost 3 feet of snow from this storm. This winter storm is so rare that we have blizzard warnings in effect for New York City for the first time in a decade, and following this monster, a major Arctic blast will impact over 100 million people and lead to more snow chances next week. This winter storm will be an absolute blockbuster across the mid-Atlantic and Northeast, creating conditions that most people have never experienced in their lifetimes. The combination of extreme snowfall, hurricane-force winds, and widespread power outages will create a scenario that emergency managers are calling potentially catastrophic. We have a slew of watches and warnings across the Northeast this morning ahead of this very dangerous nor'easter. Blizzard warnings stretch from Gloucester, Massachusetts and Boston into Cape Cod, extending back into Long Island and also into Maryland. As I mentioned, this marks the first time in a decade that blizzard warnings have been issued for New York City. Back in 2016, when similar blizzard warnings were issued, we ended up seeing over 27 inches of snow in Central Park. I'm not saying that's guaranteed to happen this time, but the historical precedent is absolutely there. We seem to have a major winter storm impacting New York City every 10 years, dating back to the 1990s. We also have winter storm warnings in effect across areas like Massachusetts extending back into Virginia. There are additional warnings across the Appalachian Mountains and winter storm watches that by the time you're watching this have likely been upgraded to winter storm warnings from eastern Maine back into southern Pennsylvania. Let me walk you through the timing and impacts of this winter storm because understanding the sequence becomes absolutely critical for safety and preparation. We already have a large winter storm beginning to form primarily over the mid-Atlantic region this morning. Light to moderate snow showers are making their way across Pennsylvania near Philadelphia, northern New Jersey, and southern New York. Much of this snow initially won't stick to surfaces, but accumulation will increase dramatically once we progress into this afternoon. We also have light snowfall across parts of Michigan extending back into western New York from lake effect snow, and this will continue throughout the daytime today. If you're in Ohio or Indiana, I don't expect significant accumulation in those areas, but the main event is still building to the east. Later this afternoon marks when conditions really start ramping up dramatically. Around lunchtime, we'll have a large band of heavy snow impacting Pennsylvania, New York, and northern New Jersey. Right around New York City, we'll begin seeing our first meaningful accumulation. And from this point forward, conditions will only continue deteriorating rapidly. Once we hit around 4 to 5 p.m., snow will become very intense across New Jersey, Long Island, extending back into Delaware and Maryland. Look at all that heavy precipitation. It's basically going to drape southern New Jersey and extend back toward Washington, D.C. We'll have large bands of snow across the Ohio Valley and western New York as well. Much of this will be more scattered in nature, but a coating to a few inches of snow will be possible further west. Obviously, the more critical concern right now focuses on this nor'easter development. During the afternoon and evening on Sunday, the low-pressure center will form and rapidly intensify offshore of the Carolinas and mid-Atlantic. As it continues tracking northward, it will continue intensifying, which means wind speeds will rapidly increase to dangerous levels. I don't feel like people are taking this winter storm seriously enough here in the Northeast. We're going to be discussing the possibility of days of closures in some areas, mainly because of the power outage risk and the possibility of feet of snowfall across these regions. This will be a very significant winter storm with long-lasting impacts. By 7 p.m., we'll have a widespread area of heavy snowfall stretching from Rhode Island back into eastern Virginia, extending as far south as Virginia Beach. We could even see light snowfall near Raleigh, North Carolina, which shows the scope of this system. When you're going to sleep tonight, we'll have a very significant swath of snow, especially impacting coastal regions. Virginia Beach back into Cape Cod represents where the heaviest snowfall will occur, with snowfall rates potentially reaching 1.5 inches per hour. Maybe isolated spots on Long Island seeing 2 inches per hour. A large area will experience 1 inch per hour snowfall rates, basically stretching from Cape Cod back into western Massachusetts and central Pennsylvania. Lake effect snow will continue further west, especially in northwest Indiana during evening and overnight hours Sunday, while snow showers across the Ohio Valley wind down. Zooming into the northeast, this significant snowfall event will continue throughout overnight hours across southern New England and far eastern portions of Maryland, Delaware, and almost all of New Jersey will still have heavy snow overnight. I want to point out that this low-pressure center will become so intense that pressure will drop to about 970 millibars. We'll have wind gusts approaching 60 to 80 mph by Monday morning across coastal regions, leading to the possibility of numerous to widespread power outages. If you live in this area or have friends and family here, make sure they're ready for these power outages because we're very likely to see significant outages beginning early Monday morning. They could even start as early as tonight, making this an extremely dangerous situation. When the sun rises Monday, snow will probably reach its most intense point of the entire event, at least across New England. Snow over the mid-Atlantic and interior northeast areas like Pennsylvania, southeastern New York, and Maryland will start becoming lighter, with snowfall rates around half an inch to maybe 1 inch per hour. It will still be snowing Monday morning in New Jersey, New York City, Delaware, and as far west as Northern Virginia. But southeastern New England, including Cape Cod, Boston, Foxborough, and Hartford, will be dealing with 1 to 1.5 inches of snow per hour. Absolutely relentless snowfall rates. Significant snow continues, especially in southeastern New England, approaching lunchtime Monday. By this point, dry air will start eating into the western side of the storm system, making snow showers much more scattered and less organized across New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Maryland. An additional 1 to 3 inches of snow will be possible during Monday afternoon across these areas. Monday afternoon brings the most significant snow back over New England, with areas like Boston and Cape Cod still experiencing heavy snowfall. I think Cape Cod and Nantucket will transition into rain sometime around 3 hours to 4 p.m. Monday, so it won't be all snow throughout the entire event. Closer to sunset, the majority of significant snow will be moving away from the coastline. We'll still have heavier snowbands for a couple more hours, probably until about 8 hours or 9 hours p.m. Monday near Foxborough and possibly Cape Cod. We could actually transition back into snow by this point. Really, anytime after about 10 p.m. Monday, snowfall becomes much more minimal across New England, but impacts will definitely be felt for days to come. Late Monday night and Tuesday morning, the storm system moves away. But guess what? More snow is coming Wednesday and Thursday across the Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and Northeast from an Alberta Clipper system that will extend this active winter weather pattern. Now let's discuss exactly how much snow this winter storm will produce. I'm going to show you 3 different scenarios, all of which are pretty significant. There really isn't a scenario here that isn't impactful at this point. The high-resolution model I just showed you indicates a significant, and in some cases historic amount of snowfall. We'll see widespread 1 to 2 feet of snow today into tomorrow, stretching from Washington, D.C. back into southern New England and southern New Hampshire. I anticipate some locations, not everywhere, but some locations in southeastern Massachusetts near New York City and New Jersey could pick up over 24 inches of snowfall. I don't think this will be widespread though. If it becomes widespread anywhere, it would be in central and eastern New Jersey. Some locations could receive 30 to maybe even 33 inches of snow. The high-resolution model shows at least one isolated location in eastern New Jersey at 42 inches of snow. I'm not completely ruling something like that out, but I'm very cautious about predicting anywhere around 3 feet because this remains a very tricky forecast. The slightest eastward or westward shift with this low-pressure center could make or break whether extreme totals actually occur. Keep in mind this is very challenging to forecast, and temperatures will be right around or just below freezing to begin Sunday, which could hinder initial accumulation. The National Weather Service model blend is also very aggressive, especially in eastern New England. Areas like Boston and Providence show around 30 inches of snowfall. Foxborough shows similar amounts. Even Cape Cod is forecast for over a foot of snow. Comparing these different computer models side by side, differences are obvious, especially across New England. But across the board, we're discussing a really major winter storm across the Northeast that will be the most snowfall some locations have seen in over a decade. The National Weather Service forecast will be more conservative in nature. Most of southern Maine shows 8 to 12 inches. Southern New Hampshire also in the 8 to 12-inch range. Boston and anywhere across Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut shows at least 12 to 24 inches with some localized areas over 24 inches possible. Especially near Foxborough and Providence, maybe south of Boston, we could see the highest totals. Back over Long Island and central and eastern New Jersey, I would expect around 18 to 24 inches from this winter storm, though some localized areas could see up to 30 or even 36 inches. Southeastern New York shows similar totals, around a foot. Central and western Pennsylvania will have a sharp drop-off. Philadelphia could see close to a foot, but Pittsburgh might only get an inch from this storm. Washington, D.C. probably won't actually see a foot of snow. I think we'll be closer to 6 to 10 inches because we'll have more rain than snow during the first half of the event, which could hinder accumulation. Delaware expects widespread 10 to 15 inches. This is a very tricky forecast, and we'll be live later today, covering this winter storm extensively. Make sure you're subscribed and have notifications enabled for the latest updates. We might have another video update, and we'll definitely provide live coverage today and tomorrow. I hate discussing this, but winds with this winter storm will be extremely high, which creates serious problems. Power outages are very likely as wet snow sticks to power lines, causing much more widespread issues than typical winter storms. Tonight, after sunset, winds will really pick up and conditions become dangerous. We're discussing widespread wind gusts around 30 to 50 mph, with some areas in eastern New Jersey reaching 60 mph by 8 to 9 p.m. tonight. Isolated to scattered power outages will begin at this point. Overnight into early Monday morning, conditions take a turn for the worse. Wind gusts around 50 to 70 millicuries will impact Long Island and eastern New Jersey, with the tip of Long Island likely reaching near 80 millibars gusts from the east and northeast. This becomes very dangerous with widespread power outages definitely expected. This wind pattern continues through Monday morning. Almost all of Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut will experience wind gusts around 50 to 80 mph. Yes, you heard correctly. 80 mph wind gusts are possible, with isolated locations potentially reaching those extreme speeds. For most areas, the peak intensity passes after lunchtime Monday. Mid-afternoon hours bring gradually lowering winds across central and eastern New England, though Cape Cod will still see 60 to 70 mph gusts as late as 10 p.m. Monday. Tuesday brings winds finally dying down across New England, but blizzard conditions will be ongoing basically all of Sunday night, Monday, and very early Tuesday, especially across New England. If you're in the red or pink shaded areas, prepare for power outages now. Have flashlights ready, have generators prepared, charge phones and other devices. Make sure you're tuning into our coverage later today and tonight for more safety precautions and preparation advice. Even if you can't go out by that point, we'll help with the latest weather details and all the preparations you should be taking for this historic winter storm event. After this winter storm passes, more snow arrives by midweek. Tuesday brings snow showers across the Midwest and Great Lakes from an Alberta clipper that moves into the Northeast Wednesday, with light to moderate snow possible. We could see another winter storm Thursday, maybe even severe weather across parts of the Ohio Valley and Southeast. We'll have detailed coverage once we get past this current major storm. Friday and Saturday bring clearing conditions, but by early March, another Arctic blast appears likely, continuing this very active winter weather pattern that has gripped much of the country. For the next few days, an Arctic blast will dive across the Ohio Valley and up and down the East Coast tonight into tomorrow. Temperatures will fall 30 to 40 degrees in most areas, creating additional challenges for recovery efforts from this major winter storm. Tuesday and Wednesday bring warm air building back across the central and southern plains, but another cold front moves across Texas, the Ohio Valley, Midwest, and Northeast. Thursday through Sunday sees warm air returning, then possibly another Arctic blast during the first few days of March. This represents one of the most significant winter storms to impact the Northeast in many years. The combination of extreme snowfall, hurricane-force winds, and widespread power outages will create conditions that test every aspect of our emergency response systems and infrastructure. Multiple feet of snow combined with winds approaching 80 mph creates a recipe for a weather disaster that will be remembered for years to come. The historical significance of blizzard warnings in New York City for the first time in a decade underscores just how rare and dangerous this event will be. Preparation becomes absolutely critical over the next several hours. This storm will create life-threatening conditions across multiple states simultaneously, making it one of the most complex and dangerous winter weather events of the season. The impacts will extend far beyond the storm's duration, with power restoration potentially taking days or weeks in the hardest-hit areas. This winter storm represents nature at its most powerful and unforgiving, demanding respect and serious preparation from everyone in its path.